Hello everyone. Hope you're doing well and welcome to a new video where we have a Forex Weekly Market Analysis. I'll try to make it very quick and just straight to the point. So as I usually like to start with the economic calendar, because this is basically the main indicator for me on what to focus on the upcoming week. Why? Because from there you can basically see where we're going to have the high impact news, and then you know that on that bears we're going to have a big volatility, and this is what we need, but also we need to treat it with a big cautious. So today, we had Fed Chair Powell speaks, so I would say we expect some stuff will be happening on USD, which I believe will cause the market to open with some gaps when it comes to USD pairs in general. And tomorrow is a bank holiday in UK and also bank holiday in US. That means that probably the market will be very, very slow when it comes to GBPUSD. And also, if it will be slow for USD, so we expect that the whole market is going to be slow. Why? Because the USD is the dominant currency in the market. And then also we have the President Lagarde speaks for the euro, so that might give some movement to the euro. On Tuesday, basically no major news. On Wednesday, we have some major news on Australian dollar and also in New Zealand dollar. And later we have also for US dollar. And on Thursday, we have some news on the USD and GBP. And Friday, we have some news basically on euro and CAD USD. So I would say the first real move in the market we should expect to happen on Wednesday. For now, let's go to Dixie. And here we are on weekly time frame. And I have this chart here. I have been sharing this chart for some time, and if you check my last Forex market analysis, we were trading somewhere here. And I said that we broke below this significant low, and we should expect that the market, after breaking below, will come to retest, and it came to retest, and then retest again, and then price broke above. But then I had these three areas marked here, and I said most probably we'll see the price coming to react to one of these areas before moving to the downside. And I will show you that on daily time frame as well. But as you can see what happened here, so after the price broke below, came here, tapped into that area, and then last week we start to see a big push to the downside. That happened after almost 5 weeks on USD, where basically we had dojis. So the market was very slow, stagnant, and annoying, which therefore impacted the rest of the market. Again, because the USD is the dominant currency worldwide, and therefore it impacts the whole market. But last week we had a nice push to the downside from that area which I talked about. Now let's go to daily time frame, and just to explain you how the situation looks like. As you can see, we have here this trend line, and you can see how basically price respected this trend line, even though I wanted the price to just push to that area, and from here we can sell, because from risk reward perspective that's even better. But anyway, let's just break down what we see right now. So we have first touch of the trend line, second touch, and third touch happen here. But as you can see from market structure point of view, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And that's why it's very important to mark the last lower high on daily time frame. Why? Because even if the price broke above this trend line, it doesn't mean that it broke the trend. When the price breaks the trend, only if it broke the market structure. So as far as, we are still below this point, we are still in downtrend, even though if the price broke above this trend line. This is very important to know, and actually a lot of retail traders lose a lot of money because not understanding this fact. But let's zoom in here, and what you can see is that on daily time frame, the market started to create an uptrend. You can see here higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And it's very important always to highlight the last higher low in that case, or the last lower high when we are in downtrend. Why? Because again, as far as the price didn't break the market structure, so for sure we are still in the same trend. Okay, that's why I marked here the last lower high and I marked here the last higher low. Okay, and definitely you need to keep in mind that the higher the time frame and the higher the history, the stronger it is. So if you can see that definitely starting from here, from almost January 2025, okay, we were moving in a downtrend. And from here, which is April 2025, we start to create an uptrend. So which one is stronger? I want you to guess. A trend which started from January or a trend which started from April? Obviously, the trend which started from January. But definitely, it's good to note that we had this trend here. That's why I was hoping for the price, as I said, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And I wanted the price from here to push a little bit to that side, and from here to move basically all the way down from here. That definitely will be a higher risk reward than price pushing from here to the downside. Okay, and trading at the end of the day, it's all about risk reward and risk management. But also we had this gray area, as you can see how strong it is. Price broke below, it was showing resistance, 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 price broke above, support, support, and then price broke below, came to retest it as a resistance. But what we want to say right now, here we have this point which was the last higher low, and right now, as you can see, on Friday, price broke below. The good thing to do right now that we have to wait for retest. What do I mean by that? We need to wait for the price to basically come here to retest and show that this area right now, it's not a support anymore and it's resistance. And from here, once we see the retest and it confirm that this level is a resistance, then we can sell from there. And pay attention to what I say, because that might be actually here a fake out. And then the week, which will start in a couple of hours, you see basically market moving to the upside. And if that happens, so that will confirm the scenario that the price might come from here. And then from that area, we might move to the downside, if any. So keep that in mind. So what we need to do is to wait for the price to show and confirm that this level, this support level, which also from market structure point of view, that was the last higher low, is really broken. And right now we need to wait for the confirmation. Okay. This is very, very, very important thing to keep in mind. What else? If we look at this one here, and this is very important, by the way, my lovely psychological level chart. Okay, what you can see here, guys, these are very important levels which I always talk about. You can see price broke below here, came to retest as a resistance. Price broke below here is 100, which is actually a psychological level. So I would expect actually that maybe we will see the price to come and give a retest here before moving to the downside, unless something dramatic will happen and then the sell-off will continue to the downside. So this is also a very, very, very important thing to keep in mind. Now let's move to gold. If you watched my last video, I actually recorded that, I think it was 3 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, yeah. And price was 3 weeks ago, we were somewhere here. We were somewhere literally here. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. We were literally here. And what I said, I would love the price to come and then from here to move to the upside, okay? And you can go and check my video on YouTube, what happened. As you can see, okay, this week candle, next week candle, and the price tapped to that area and then start to move to the upside. Even though, okay, let me just stop that. Even though, as you can see on daily time frame, I had this yellow arrow some time ago, and I even have this video when I said, but it was in Arabic language if I'm not mistaken. I said, Hisham, does it mean that the price will move from that area here to the upside? Even though we have all confluences which says that, I said no, because in the forex market or in financial market in general, there is nothing 100% sure. Okay, and this is very important thing to keep in mind. But anyway, it happened. Price tapped to that area here and then moved to the upside. For me, I was waiting for the price to come a little bit down instead of here. That's why I had this, as you can see, like level that once the price come to that level, I get notification. But unfortunately, price didn't come to that point which I wanted. Anyway, we have right now, if we look at it from definitely on 4 hours time frame, and guys, it's obvious that in gold we are an uptrend and a very strong uptrend. So definitely the smart trade is to buy, not to sell. Okay, but again, what do we see on the 4 hours time frame? In the 4 hours time frame, we see downtrend, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Is it lower high right now? Maybe. And I would say even the price might break above this point, but as far as we are below the last lower high from market structure point of view, we are still in a downtrend. Price might come all the way up here and then from here move to the downside. And I'm talking about 4 hours time frame. Okay, because definitely, as I said, weekly, monthly, daily, whatsoever, we are in a strong and massive uptrend. So only on 4 hours time frame, the market start to create a downtrend. But definitely, again, the smart trade is to push and to buy, to push to the upside and to buy. But in case that will happen, it might be a good trade. Imagine if the price will come here, okay, and most probably what the price does for something like that, you see the last lower high, so you will see the price coming, pushing to the upside with a strong bullish candle, and then second candle will be strong bearish, and then the price will do something like that, come to retest, and then from here, pushing to the upside. If that scenario will happen, that will be ideal, because again, for me, I look at it from risk to reward ratio. If I'm going to sell from here, let's say, all the way down, and let's say I will have my, I don't know, so I would say, let's say 15 bips or something like that, that might be a big, massive trade with, if I will lose, I will lose 1. If I'm going to win, I'm going to win 22. That justifies basically such a trade. But at the end of the day, I'm basically going to wait and see. Especially as I told you, keep in mind that the biggest or the first news we have, it's going to happen on Wednesday. So I would say, it's good to keep an eye. I will add also here notification. If the price come to that area, I will get notified, and basically I don't need to look at it right now. I just have my notification here and down there. If the price will come here to that area, I will basically assess the situation. If the price comes down there, I will assess the situation. And this is a thing which you need to keep in mind. The good traders always work with a scenario which is if, then. If X will happen, then I'm going to do that. Okay, when it comes to trading, you always need to be reactive, not proactive. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, because this is very important. When it comes to trading, you always need to be reactive, not proactive. Moving to EURUSD, it's a very, very, very similar situation, and I'm just going to keep it very short and very simple here. So guys, when it comes to daily time frame, obviously we are in an uptrend. Okay, we have our long-term trend line, outer, and we don't have inner here, even though we can find inner, because in general, for trend lines, we have three types of trend lines: long term, outer, and inner. So here in blue, we have the long-term trend line, and in this green, we have outer trend line. So in both long-term and outer trend line, we are in an uptrend. Only when you look at it from 4 hours time frame, you can see that we are actually in a downtrend. Okay, and this is very similar to gold. So the bottom line, what I want to say here is, actually, let's remove this. We don't need this right now, to make it very simple and very clear. So guys, smart trade is to buy, but only one thing to keep in mind is that here, okay, let's remove this. We don't need this. We don't need that. Okay, the thing we need to keep in mind is this one, which is our last lower high, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So this is the last lower high we need to keep an eye on. If the price will break above strongly, we will wait for the retest and then we will be buying. Okay, as simple as that. You don't have to complicate it. As you can see, even I don't use any indicators on my chart or stuff like that. Simplicity is a key. And if we will see some, rejection from here, maybe we can sell all the way down to here, and we will be moving with this, downtrend, which is short term, I would say. 4 hours time frame, as I said, we can see right now what is happening. And let's see, guys, let's see what is going to happen here. I'm really into EURUSD. Anyway, we have a trade from last week with our Quasar community, where we are actually in profit right now. I would expect maybe another push to the upside. So let's see how it's going to be. On GBPUSD, that's quite interesting right now. I would go to these psychological levels. Or actually, no, just quickly. You remember some time ago when price was just moving somewhere here, I said I'm not going to do anything until the price come here, and then from here I will assess what I'm going to do. But when you see this amount of dojis, which is just a big indecision in the market, you just need to step away and do nothing. Just wait, okay? Because here you're going to lose a lot. And this is where the market is pushing you out of your comfort zone and trying to get you trapped in the market where basically there is nothing happening. So coming back to, let's go to this one, I would say. So here, as you can see, I would expect, just to keep it very simple, I would expect that or the price will just keep pushing to that point here, or we might see price coming here, retest, and push to the upside. As simple as that, okay? And that's why this chart of psychological levels is very important. It's very important. And by the way, I have a free lesson where you can watch, where I explain everything about these psychological levels, and it's powerful. This is the least I can say. So here, I would say again, what I would expect is the price to come here to retest and then buy, and then we start to buy, and that will be ideal scenario, because then we will be waiting for the price to come down here, and then from here we will be looking at the price action. Once we see the good signs to buy, we will be buying, and then we will be moving all the way up to that level, which is, I talked about here, which is 1.36250. So let me put it here. Let me put it here, 136,250. So yeah, I would say, or the price, as I said, will just continue the push to the upside, or price will come to the downside here, and then from here we can buy. That definitely will be better for us, because then we can, I don't know, buy from here, have our tight stop loss, which we usually have, let's say 20 pips, and then we can have a nice 10% move to the upside. So yeah, this is what exactly I'm looking for at the market this week. And yeah, I just wanted to keep it short and simple. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Cheers.